Hello. Um, I just wanted to do a life talk because I feel like I haven't done my rants or just my talks in a while. Start off, we got some tea. This is sweet chamomile. I added some ginger, some fresh ginger, some honey, some lemon, turmeric, and cloves, and mint leaves. I love tea. It's a great way to start your morning. Makes you feel like you're Bob Ross. Okay, so just wanted to talk about. Well, first, I want to say who I'm talking to. I'm talking to creatives and people that are trying to do something. Creatives and like entrepreneurs, people that are trying to do something that often get faced with many like limiting beliefs, many non-believers, haters, and just general like life obstacles. I guess. First off, sure this is on. I feel like obstacles really don't exist past your mind. And it's not even just what I feel, it's the truth. It's like if you don't believe it to be so, it wouldn't be true. You can tell yourself it's not true. It may be true to somebody else because that's what they believe, but we're not focused on other people. So yeah, like I see so many people with a lot of talent that are in their own way. There's a lot of times that I feel like I'm in my own way because I'm stuck on something that if I got rid of it or if I didn't believe it to be true, the other side of that would be creations that are out of this world. Me reaching my highest potential. And it's easier said than done to really like let go of things sometimes and be honest with yourself and the ability to have a frank conversation with yourself is like it's hard sometimes because sometimes you don't want to hear the truth. But this year, the beginning of the year, I said to myself, I'm living in my truth from now on. Like, I'm done people pleasing, especially pleasing people that, like, for what? That have no type of say in my life. That we're on a pedestal for no reason. So, yeah, um, I've been seeing a lot of other content creators talk about limiting beliefs and a lot of stuff having to do with growing situations, patterns and relationships, whether that be platonic or romantic, whatever, that just no longer serve them. And that's where I'm at right now. And yeah, I just really felt a strong pull to talk about this today. Um yeah, like obstacles don't exist past yourself. Like lock in. I look at it as you have a clear path that you can feel your way through, but there's distractions on that path. And if you're a visualizer, you can probably understand what I'm talking about very well. Um, there's distractions placed on that path to test your faith and to test your fortitude and your perseverance for real. And distractions meaning relationships, people that pull you off of that road to take you with them, to take you down something that to take you down another road that consists of a bunch of lessons that you still needed to learn in order to continue on your path. That's why I feel like life is just healing, and life is not a linear process. Because where would the fun be in that? You know, I feel like God and the universe, they're geniuses with a sense of humor. um, that's another thing. Like, do not take this too serious. Like, it's truly a game. Okay, and while it's important to stay grounded and not think you're just above everybody else, no, because we're all interconnected. It's important to realize your role here on earth and the impact you have on other people and the impact other people have on your life. Those are important realizations to come to. I'm mad because my tea got cold. One, and I'm almost done. I might make another cup. That's what it looked like at the bottom. Good stuff. So please do not fall. Yeah, I'm here to encourage people. I feel like because as I encourage other people, I encourage myself too. I'm really talking to myself, but I know there's other people just like me, you know, or people that need to hear this message. Don't conform yourself. Don't limit yourself because another person told you to, due to peer pressure, due to their own blinded perceptions, their own circumstances that led them to have those limiting beliefs. Keep remain solid. Right now I'm working on mastering my ability to know where I stand and to hold myself at a impenetrable standard to where I can I can understand other people's perceptions without it compromising mine. And that's why it's important to be around people who also encourage you to grow and who aren't constantly trying to pull you away from what you know is right for you. People that see you for who you are, that can see you're trying to get to where you're trying to get to, and they can contribute to that mutually. Okay. Um, I'm unlearning a lot of patterns that don't serve me. Uh, I really sat with myself. I feel like I did a video explaining my art and the mask came up, and I've just really been reflecting on that these past couple of weeks. And my mask was like, I started to get caught up into it, especially because I was so into fashion. And I always knew fashion wasn't about labels, it was about inside, like how you customize your appearance and, you know, but I started getting too into my ego a little bit and getting too caught up in it. And it wasn't too bad because I've always had a sense of self-awareness, but I also was hanging around friend groups that didn't serve me, that were superficial. But in order to really learn lessons, you have to go through them. So I feel like everybody goes through that phase in life where they hanging around friends they know it's no good, or it just takes a while to register, or it's temporary, but you're still there. So I've really been going deeper and reflecting. I've been, manifesting, attracting more of what's aligned with me. And yes, I've been tested. Everybody gets tested because it wouldn't be life if you're not. I was watching this creator. What is her name? Is it Tuesday? I think that's what it said in the video, or like that might be her name. I'm gonna do more research after this and clip it in. She was on the money. She was talking about outgrowing friendships and letting go of relationships that don't serve you, and she was saying hold on, let me gather my thoughts. People seem to sometimes think you have it all together, but no, you are just more equipped because of your own inner work, and you have the tools now to really like keep going in life. And that made me more aware of me, because I was faced a lot with, oh, you have it all together, or you at least you appear to have it all together. No, I just know how to gather myself. And I know that when things get rough, you don't run, you go through them, because it's rough for a reason. And I look at it as there's rainbows at the end of the storm. No rain, no flowers. So if you don't go through that lesson now, because cycles exist, you're going to end up going through that lesson in another way. So I'm the type of person that I just rather do the work now to help my future self later. So yeah, um, I just when it comes to the subliminals, I don't do well with that. I am not a subliminal person because I don't move in a way that is intentionally shady. And I like to be around people who would come to me if they think something I've done has hurt them, or like, if something I've done has hurt them, or if it came off that way, because maybe it did and I wasn't aware. I'm human. I don't like to be around people that internalize things and hold it against you, knowing that's not even really your character. That's why it's important to be around people who know you at your core, who align with you. And it's important for you to be yourself so that you can be around exactly who you need to be around, you know? Because if you masking, you're going to be around people that are superficial because you're not even being your most authentic self. Be you. And it's like you should start sooner rather than later, because when you get older, you're probably just going to wish that you would have started younger. At least if you starting now, you could say, I tried. Like, worst case scenario, life doesn't go according to plan. But you're still going to be exactly where you need to be, no matter what. And I've trained my mind to stop seeking the worst case scenario and realize that in order to get to a higher place of where I want to be, I have to start conditioning myself to believe in the best case scenario, because I know that things are always working out for my highest good along with everybody else, because God did. So yeah, you go and get haters. That's how you know you're doing something right, because haters is feedback. It's a reaction to to what you're producing, what you're putting out there, to what you're projecting. And it's up to you whether you use that for your good or your bad. I've learned not to, or I'm still working on it, not to internalize the actions and behaviors and words of other people, because of the fact that people are projecting from themselves, and people treat you, or people can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves, leading them to treat you how they feel about themselves, technically, you know? And to an extent they treat you how they feel about you, but it's like it's a duality. So yeah, don't conform. Don't, just because somebody said your music sucks, or if somebody said that, I'm not putting nothing on nobody, but hypothetically speaking, somebody says, oh, this is trash, da da da, who cares? Block it and go on about your day. Okay, you can choose to block stuff out of your life that you know is not serving you and go on about your day, whether that be a person, whether that be a situation, whether that be like whatever it is that's keeping you from moving on. Deal with it and block it. Clock it and block it, okay? So yeah, I'm just tired of seeing such talented individuals, including myself, not live up to their highest potential because of what other people are saying or what other people are doing. I truly get it. Like, I know how it can be out here as a creative, especially trying when you're showing something so vulnerable. Art comes from a vulnerable place most of the time, and it can be icky. It can feel like, oh my god, like I'm doing this. That's how I be feeling, like with music and everything. My video got cut off, but yeah, um, I just I've just really been at a point where I'm trying to pivot forward and really, really get into my duffel. Okay. Because I know I've already been outputting, creating some really cool stuff, but I'm not at my limit. I'm just getting started. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with being uncomfortable. So, starting now, you know, I'm releasing more of my singing videos, my content, because I'm realizing that I'm attracting more people that understand me, that can relate, that I can connect to. And I've also been dealing with like me trying to connect with other people and they not on the same vibe as me. So sometimes, rejection comes up, which rejection doesn't exist in my mind because you just redirected me to who I need to be redirected to. But there's people that you think that they would relate to you, but ego exists and doesn't yeah. I don't really know how else to explain that. It's just some people that are too in their ego to even want to connect with people, or they just aren't ready to meet you where you at. That's fine. Um that's what I'm working on, not taking personal, because I feel like if you're an artist, you should understand other artists, but I can't control that perception, and that's what I'm letting go of. So yeah, I'm not really taking stuff like that personal because I know that's just a result of my expectations. There's going to be some people in life that don't follow their own dreams, that don't chase their own dreams, that are content with what they're content with. That's your life. I ain't judging, We all here. But there's going to be some people that limit you, that really try to hinder you. And it may not even be intentional, but sometimes it very well might be. And that's why you have to protect your energy and use your discernment to know when somebody is really having your best interest at heart, and when, you just know it's time to cut that cord. So I thank God for my ability to naturally read people. It's not even me trying to trigger or upset you, babe. This, like, it's just how I am. And you'd understand that if we were meant to be aligned. But the fact that some people may project onto you and think that they're being attacked just by you protecting your boundaries because you are expressing some sort of feeling of violation. They can't respect that. Some people are too prideful to admit when they've done wrong. And I feel like I used to be that way unknowingly. Now, like, I can admit, now that I've become more comfortable with making mistakes because that's life, I can admit when I'm wrong. I can admit when somebody else is right, or at least I'm still working on that. Um, yeah, I know I am not perfect. I don't expect me to be. I'm not planning to ever make the same mistake twice. So, yeah, I have a problem with ego feeding because some people have a very inflated and like very inflated, overly inflated sense of self. You should definitely have a high self esteem if you got it like that. Some people don't got it like that. And I don't like to feed that ego because I can see right through that. And I'm like, who are you really? What are you hiding from? What are you hiding for? And I think that's because I'm going and doing the work within myself to take my mask off and be real. I don't like phony. I ain't never been phony. That's not what I'm saying. But there was a point in time I was masking. I feel like masking and phoniness are different. Because phoniness is like really faking the funk for the approval of others. Masking, for me at least, was more so out of, I don't know, I guess not wanting people to see the real me due to fear of rejection. I've always done me, but then I was faced with a lot of limitations from others that I internalized when I was younger. Then I started chasing perfectionism and superficial things that I know did not serve me, especially because of how I was raised. Like, the Black community in general can sometimes be very, very caught up on brands. And it's just something I've noticed, and it is not a dig, but I just want people to go a bit deeper. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with brands and stuff like that, but if you're untrained and if you're not knowing of yourself, you can lose yourself getting caught up in superficial stuff. It's true. So everything is good in moderation. That's all I'm saying. And I'm mad that I internalized things for so long and hindered myself from being who I really was because another person didn't understand me and they try to categorize me due to their own lack of knowledge. But now, babe, I know exactly who I am. And I'm showing more of myself because I know exactly who I am. And I know that I'm going to keep attracting the people that I'm supposed to attract. So I welcome limiting beliefs. I welcome the hate. Well, to an extent, but I'm saying like if when I'm faced with it, it's just fuel because I'm like, okay, that's your perception. And it lets me know what I'm doing and like how things can come off if I intended for them to come off that way, or how things can be perceived by people from people that are living in a different mindset. So all haters really prove to me is who my demographic is and who my demographic isn't. So instead of looking and internalizing like, oh my God, they said something negative. Thank you. Because now I know that you weren't fake with me. You told me how you really felt. I appreciate that. Now I know who I'm talking to and I know who I'm not talking to, you know? So it's all a game. You just gotta use their cognitive, use your psyche, learn what works for you. Go inside, learn your libido. When I was in school studying psych, I really, really liked Carl Jung or Jung, however you say it. Him and Freud a little bit, but Jung stood out to me. He talks a lot about the id, the superego, the ego. Id is like your pleasure factor. I call it your body. Your superego is your morality, and your ego is your reality. So when they conflict, that creates a sense of anxiety. And I've always like it makes perfect sense because as I analyze myself, I'm like, okay, where if I'm feeling anxious or if I'm feeling fearful, what have I been running from all these years? And then when you really confront it, it's uncomfortable at first, but then you get over it because you realize it was never that deep and you denounce its power that whatever it is had over you. So I realized there's probably something I said that conflicted with my super ego, my morality, or my ego, my reality. Something I've done in reality that conflicted with my morals. Something I've done for pleasure that conflicted with my morals. And that is why you have to master the art of detachment and not giving a damn, but at the same time being mindful. You shouldn't be too much of one thing because too much mindfulness can cause overthinking in the wrong way. Being mindful is good, but being too like caring of other people's feelings and can sometimes lead to you not wanting to be truthful. And I've learned that as well. You know, I'm learning my duality. So yeah, detach. Allow yourself to explore yourself without judging yourself. Because the world is already judgmental as hell and critical and whatever the world is. But you can live in a different reality based on your mindset. So it is important to really go within and observe the observer. That's what I view meditation as. I close my eyes and I picture my eyes looking at the eyes inside. That's projecting. So I'm looking at everything that I'm projecting and digging through it and like, I'm like, oh, so this is how I thought. This is how I acted. This is why I did that. This is why they did that. And that's how I create my perception. And that is how I project the energy I want to project. And you gain control back of who you are. And I'm not saying be God because you cannot be God. But art mimics life. And as an artist, you're mimicking creation. God creates, meaning it's within us. As above, so below, as within, so without. If something is up there, it is down here. If something is out into your reality, it is inside of you. That's how I view water. You know, there's different types of water. There's stagnant water. There's the water that flows. There's water that's really rapid. There's water that it's like tornadoes underneath. I feel like that kind of stuff can happen in you, which causes emotions because we are predominantly made of water. So that's just my perception. Um yeah, and I feel like that's a prime example of as within, so without. Same with the sun. The sun radiates its own warmth and heat and it shines. That's in you. That's that quote that's like the light you see in others is the light in you too. The beauty you see in others is the beauty in you too. You wouldn't even be able to recognize that if it didn't already exist inside of you. Okay? So we generate our own warmth. We generate like when you rub your hands together real fast, when you breathe like that's heat, that's heat. It's in you. Um, yeah. And it was the solar plexus chakra that really began to wake me up to this fact. Um, that fire, that passion, it's the sun, it's your light, you shine. And studying chakras along with mindfulness, along with psychology has really changed my life because I'm realizing that they all go hand in hand. And I'm a strong believer in the metaphysical because this is a metaphysical world. Create like nature itself, if you ever just sit outside in nature and look around, it's beautiful and it's so intricately made. And like nature has a lot of sacred geometry in it. And it's just really cool, honestly. And I'm a huge nature head. I'm sorry, like it, bro. Go and hiking or something and just look around and think like, yo, God really made this. And as humans, we're here to keep the earth in check. By in check, I mean like help our this is our home. Like we're here to not let things get out of hand, which sometimes as humans we can do, but we can use our power for good. We can go out, clean up, um, keep the grass trimmed, tend to plants and stuff. That's what I feel like that's what we're supposed to be doing. That is what we're supposed to be doing. Growing, nurturing the earth as it nurtures us. So yeah, as within, so without. That's really been on my mind heavy. And most people stop at as above, so below. And it's deeper than that. As within, so without too. That resonates more with me, honestly. Even though I feel like it's a balance of both, I'm just feeling really more connected to the as within, so without. Because I'm realizing that, especially when it comes to judging other people, I used to be really critical of other people because I was really critical of myself. And I've never fully judged because I knew that I was not God and only God can judge for real. But I used to be really nitpicky sometimes. And I'm trying, like, I've outgrown that. And I've realized that people make mistakes. Let go of trying to expect people to be perfect because you expect yourself to be perfect because that's going to get you nowhere. But learning that same lesson again until you let that go. So yeah, when if you're perceiving somebody that like let's say they said something that didn't resonate with you or they did something that didn't resonate with you, check yourself first to make sure that you're not doing that because that lesson could be to make you more aware of how you may come off to people or things you have done or said. And you're like, oh, like it's like a light bulb clicks. That's how I view things. Before I come at people, I guess, that I feel like this was wrong, I check myself first and I'm like, have I done this? Is God trying to wake me up to my actions? Because I don't like how it feels. Sometimes you really don't know how to stop doing something or when to stop doing something until the shoe is on the other foot. And oh, how the turntables. Okay. So, yeah, I've just really been waking up to a lot, working on myself, but not being too hard on myself and allowing myself to move freely and move through these emotional blockages. Okay. Anxiety, I saw something before that said it feels like it's choking you at first, but it's actually guiding you. It's guiding you to your deeper self that you keep running from, some conflict between your morals, your reality, and your pleasure factors. Some conflict between there. So when you meditate, you go within and you can feel and see at the same time inside what needs to be worked on. And it takes time because certain things you won't realize until you're placed in a situation that is supposed to wake you up. That's why you're exactly where you need to be right now. And that situation that you may regret, don't, because you needed it to be the person that you are today. Yup. And as I'm talking, like I'm healing myself. Words have power. Proverbs 12:18, I believe. Death and life lie in the power of the tongue. What you speak, you create. You manifest it. People that let things fester like stress, or they keep saying, I'm this, I suck, I'm terrible, I I'm gonna I'm gonna get sick, I'm gonna get cancer, I'm gonna get this disease. Months later you get it because your power of tongue. You ever seen a cancer patient beat cancer because of their mind? Mind over matter. You need your mind to align with your body, and your body can heal itself. I was reading the Book of Eden with a lot of herbal remedies, and it gets deep. And it was saying for every um illness, there is a cure for it by God, a natural remedy for it. So before we rely on, this isn't just about herbs, this is life. Before we go and rely on chemicals, or there are natural chemicals too, but I'm talking about like the superficial stuff, the temporary stuff to temporarily fix us. Why don't we shift our mind to train, like to see the long term and seek the longevity? Okay. That's where the real healing begins. When you begin to train your body to seek opportunities that will benefit you in the long term and stop needing quick fixes and quick dopamine rushes, and stop it. Be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Be comfortable with the unknown. As I said in my previous videos, it is a blank canvas. It is an invitation for you to create your desired reality by taking actions to manifest whatever it is that you truly desire in life. Um yeah, do not conform ever for limiting believers, because that's a projection of their own unhealed and unresolved traumas and mindset. Don't take it personal. I know it's real easy to, like, this bitch said this to me. Oh, don't do that. Be like, okay, honey, have a blessed day. I can see that X, Y, and Z is unhealed. You really don't owe nobody an explanation, and nobody owes you anything either. Learn when it's time to move on and stop internalizing the hate, because then you become like them. When you rise above as God intended, because your trust and faith is in God, you'll get rewarded so much, as to where if you stoop down to somebody's level, you become them. You reciprocate that energy exchange. And it's important to have that discernment to know when to talk and when not to, and who to talk to and who not to talk to, because conversations are energy exchanges, and words are seeds planted in your head. Okay? Conversations are seeds planted in your head. It Death and life lies in the power of the tongue. So before you respond to some energy, do you want that taken out of you? That's like giving free money to somebody that doesn't deserve it. Like, here, I'm gonna give you $1 for being shitty. No. Ground down, call all your power back to you, and elevate. That is how you elevate your life, by elevating proactively and doing something proactively. The power in the present. You can change anytime you want to change. You go wake up tomorrow and be a new person. Okay. And I really have to tag that creator because she touched on a lot of what I'm saying. And it was just stuff I was thinking about. And it really resonated with me. I'm pretty sure it's Is It Tuesdays, but yeah, I'm gonna make sure to tag her. Yeah, I really appreciate other people speaking on their experiences because this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be learning from each other and listening to each other and not listening to respond, not attacking each other, not tearing each other down to build ourselves up. You're getting nowhere. And I feel like people don't reflect in life enough about what they're doing, how they're spending their time. A lot of people desire to go to heaven, but are living life as if they desire to go to hell by actively choosing to make the wrong choices out of spite, envy, jealousy, anger, hatred, lower vibrational emotions, as opposed to elevating to create your heaven on earth first. How can you get to heaven and you can't even picture it? I know there's versions of heaven in the Bible, in other religions and cultures too. What is your heaven? Like, have you thought about that? If you're doing actions to contradict your higher self, then you don't really want it that bad, do you? I'm just the messenger. I know what I'm saying may be triggering, but triggers need to happen in order to be aware of the work that you're not doing. It's better to start sooner rather than later. And I say everything I say with love. Okay. So, yeah, my ears are ringing. I say everything I say with love. I'm not here to attack anybody for whatever. Um, I genuinely want everybody to level up because if you level up yourself, when you do that work, you help everybody else because you don't tolerate the lower vibrational stuff. You don't tolerate people disrespecting themselves. You begin to become the teacher. You begin to help other people help themselves. So evolution starts individually and eventually bleeds into the collective and the population. So more people are waking up to the truth and realizing that it's time to change. Embrace the change because things are always changing naturally. That's something that you can't control. Sometimes I realize that micromanaging is a trait that I do when I start to spiral a bit, when I feel like reality is not in my grasp. It's not supposed to be. Stop resisting, let go, and let God do his thing, okay? Take a deep breath. Realize that people's perceptions is people's perceptions. And sometimes if you feel like somebody has done you wrong, don't hold that in your heart. And I know it's some foul people out here. That is literally a reflection of their circumstances and their environment because of the fact that they projected that onto you. Do not conform. Don't listen to the limiting beliefs. Keep going because it's going to pay off. Keep going, keep glowing. As Beyonce said, always stay gracious. Best revenge is your paper. I think I'm done. It was a great conversation. Talk to yourself. You are not crazy. You need to talk to yourself because the same way you need to converse with people and share that energy exchange to learn somebody else in any type of relationship, you need to build a relationship with yourself that way. Talk to yourself, create that bond, that relationship with yourself where you can be honest with yourself. When you can accept honesty from others. People say they want real ones, but they ain't a real one themselves. If you really desire to attract abundance, blessings, positivity, shift your mind. If you want to attract realness, shift your mind. Act. from the place of who you want to be and not from a place of who you were. I think I'm done for now. I really want to get started on my podcast and my Patreon. I do have a Patreon. I'm working on it though. Like some platforms you have to learn, and I'm learning that platform. But big things are in store for this year and next, and all the years to follow. So stay tuned. And if you really listen to this, much love to you for real.